Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z Tillwell with Skybox Conversations, man. The Hoop Power. We'll talk about all things hoops. Definitely about my favorite two teams when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers. And then on college level, it's the Arkansas Razorbacks, baby, because that's home and it's just Will Pig Suey to the day I die. You do what I'm saying? Lakers get a big win, man, against the Mavs tonight. Tough game, tough game. Mavs didn't make it easy. Kyrie was hooping. Um, we had to fight and we had to fight for that one, but ultimately the Lakers and more in particular LeBron was able to really control things and take us on home. I think with an 8-point win or something like that, 9-point win. Really good game, man. Kyrie was hooping, Clay got hot. Um, man, it was just good. And I said before the game, I made a video where I talked about how Luka doesn't have to be he doesn't have to force anything. Like let the game come to him, right? And things will open up. And that's exactly kind of what had to happen because Jason Kidd threw a little bit of everything at Luka. I mean, I mentioned that like Jason Kidd was coaching his tail off too, right? He was loading up on Luka, doubling him, making him see, constant bodies, making him have to make the right read. And but what Luka being the player that he is, he was making the right read. And it's just one of them things where it's like Jason Kidd is like, I'm gonna try everything, but I just gotta hope that we can do just enough to slow you down, and he had a pretty much rough shooting night for the most part. I think like 6 for 17, 1 for 9 from the three or something like that. He wasn't great shooting wise and still had a damn near 20-point triple double, which speaks to his greatness. And then it was like we have so much firepower offensively where there were moments in the game where I was like, damn, I forgot Burn was out there until the fourth quarter came and he took us home. You know what I mean? Because Brown was being very, very passive in the first three quarters. I think he took like 8 shots for like 11 points or something like that. And um, he was just kind of, building up to go 7 for 9 from the field in the fourth for 16 points and take us on home. And so, it was just impressive to see, man. And again, it shows our depth because there was a point in the game where like Austin Reeves was our leading scorer. And then LeBron ultimately became that guy. Um, and the same four that dominated in the Denver game are the same four that dominated in this game. And I just found that like very interesting, right? That if you can get these consistent four guys to come up, or like you said, even if it's not Rui, it can be Dorian Finney-Smith. It can be Gabe Vincent, even though he had a hard time tonight. Like it can be these dudes and they can have a big night for us. And so again, with this show, I think just my tweets that I tweet throughout the game are just great talking points. Not only about the Lakers, but I did talk a little bit about some of the other games that went on tonight. The ass whooping that Cleveland put on Orlando, the great game between Memphis and Phoenix. That was a great game. So just some really cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into it and let's talk about it, and we'll just build on it from there. All right. So pull up my screen so y'all can see what I see. Did what I'm saying, and we're gonna go from there. Yeah. All right. So hey man, so again, I caught the end of the Cleveland game and they was up like 30 something at this point or 27 or something. And I said Cleveland doing Orlando so bad, I had to double check to see if Paulo and Wagner were playing. I mean, they was whooping their ass. I mean, demolishing them. And somebody said, man, Cleveland is just a well-oiled machine right now, and they just clicking on all cylinders, and that's just true. Kenny Atkinson got a system in place. Man, and it's working. I mean, and it's very unique of a system. When you got Mobley and you got Jared Allen doing like big to big screens on each other, Jared and letting Mobley be a ball handler and a decision maker. He's already a defensive presence. Then you got Donovan Mitchell as a star, and then Darius Garland as a true point guard. Then you got these long and rangy wings now with DeAndre Hunter. And then, like I said, you got Mobley, you got Allen, you got Coro. Like you got Max Strus. Like you got depth. I love Todd Jerome. Like they just, man, Cleveland is rolling, and they did that. And Orlando was a factor, um, before you lose dudes like Jalen Suggs, and then you just got Paulo and you just got Wagner back not too long ago. And man, you just missing some key pieces, but damn, man, they got their ass dog walk, right? But on to bigger things, man. This great game with the Lakers. I think it was just kind of the beginning of the game, and the Lakers were rolling early, and it was like 11-2 or 9-2 or whatever, and then Kyrie started hitting shots, and I was just saying, man, this Laker team is just so smooth, and on a lot of my videos I've been posting, like on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, you've been hearing people say stuff on my videos like we just played so slow when AD was out there. And I think that was true at times. I think there were times in the game where we had to play kind of slow and methodical because it's a different style of play with a guy like AD, right? Now, it was still effective, right? We still won games with it with JJ, but I think with this team, the ebb and flow and the rhythm of the game is more showtime. It's more fast paced. It's more fast break, get out and run. And I think even at the end of the game, when LeBron goes down and seals Max Christie and gets the easy dunk, like that's the epitome of that. Or Austin throws the long range, outlet pass for Bron for a oop layup, right? Like that's like where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's impressive to see. It's impressive to see. And so this team is just smooth, if that makes sense. Just smooth. And so, yeah, let's pull it back up, man. Let's go to the next one. So then we got Luka was cooking early. He had, I think, actually it was 9 points. It was only like 6 minutes into the game. He already had like nine or 11 points like that. And it just lets you know, like, he was being aggressive early. And from the only finish with 19, again, lets you know that Jason Kidd throw a lot of different stuff at him to try to make Luka's life hard. You know what I'm saying? But overall, Luka handled it pretty well. He just was just missing some shots. And not missing them bad either, like just grazing the front of the rim, falling right on the front of the rim, or just a little too hard. Like it wasn't just terrible shots. He was just, Jason Kidd said, "You're not gonna be the one to just erupt today and have 40," but he still had a triple double. So it speaks to his greatness, right? But he was very aggressive early, and I thought we was in for a really big night when he hit the tough ass three over two defenders on that left side and started looking over there at the the Mavs bench or whatever. I thought I was like, oh shit, but he never really expanded on that moment. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie with the haircut, Kyrie looking like rookie Kyrie with the beard going. He looked young as hell. He looked like he was number 2 in Cleveland again with the motherfucking beard gone. He looked crazy. He looked different, man. Retweet if you love the Lakers, of course. Rui to Max at the rim. If you remember this movie, man, you are. If you don't know what movie this is, you are too damn young. This is a classic. And Rui had the son Max Christie, man, and remind him who Big Bro is. Babied his ass. You know what I'm saying? And it was a Rui been playing some great defense, man. People been on Rui back about his defense, or lack thereof. But I have to say, I don't want to put a number on it, but I would say in particular, for sure, these last 5 games or so, 4 games or so, even more, Rui been hooping, man. Rui been hooping on both ends, shooting at a high clip and playing some damn good defense, man. You got to give him credit for that. Just as bad as when he plays defense terrible sometimes, he's been playing some great defense as of late. And you got to give him credit. You got to tip your hat to him, man. Now, again, this doesn't have to do with the Lakers, but I did see where Ja hit a tough bucket at the end, man. It's into the OT where the Grizz ultimately won the game. And you almost just feel bad for the Suns, man, because they have a chance to win a lot of these different ball games that they've been losing or barely winning, and they just can't close out games, man. Just cannot close out games, and fall apart at the end, and it sucks because like there's so much talent on their roster, but it's just not gelling. And I don't think Devin Booker played tonight, but still, it's just not gelling, man. Just not gelling. Even and Bradley Beal had a pretty good game, but it's not clicking. It's not clicking. And then there was a point in the game where the Mavs couldn't hit shit, man. And I said the Mavs would have 6 points if it wasn't Kyrie. I think Kyrie had like 14 of the 21st first quarter points that they had. And it was like, damn, we'll be really kicking their ass if it wasn't for Kyrie. And him being able to, hit some big shots and make some tough shots. He hits like 2 threes back to back in the first quarter. Like if it wasn't for him, we it would have been a much different game. But Kyrie, being Kyrie, he was being extra aggressive, and he knew he had to be because nobody else was hitting shots for the Mavs, especially in the first half. They were broke as fuck. I said first quarter done. You can tell Luka was on that type of timing. He's far from done. I was wrong. I was right, but I was wrong, right? Like and when I said that, I thought he was finna be like extra aggressive in the sense of like he's finna go off, but he didn't go too crazy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go too crazy. He did just enough. but he did more than enough to win. And I think Candace said something real key and something that was really good, where she was like, "This is a team now where like Luka doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't have to like play hero ball, on this team. Like sometimes he can just chill, or just have an off night for what would consider to be an off night for him and still win the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of like that's how good this team is, I think, in my opinion. Like you got enough pieces around you where he can have an off night. He don't have to play superhero ball, and we can still win. We can still win, and we can still win. Pretty comfortably, if I'm being honest. I want to pull him up on here, but yeah, man, you can tell like on this team, even when Luka has a bad night, like we still got so much firepower. He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to go give you 35 and 15 and 20 just to win a 2-point game in the middle of February. You know what I'm saying? Like we got enough where LeBron doesn't have to do a whole lot for 3 quarters, and he can just come alive in the fourth. Like we got that right. And Austin kind of did his work in between the gaps. Like we good. You know what I'm saying? As far as offensive goal, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it. But I was wrong. Like I thought he was going to go crazy when I said that Luka was in for a big type of night. And he was far from done. He was done, but not in a bad way. He still killed their ass, just in different ways. Bad loss for Phoenix. I tweeted that as well. It was a bad loss. I don't even know what number that is. I think that might be like 13 out of 16 or something like that they've lost or something crazy like that last time I checked. So feel bad for them, wondering if they even gonna make the playoffs. I doubt it. They that bad, man. They did a tribute video for my guy AD. Well deserved, man. Like you said, if you don't see AD as like a critical part of the Lakers organization forever, despite what happened, then you just don't know hoops and you don't know what he meant to the Laker organization. Man, yeah, he's always gonna be a piece of it, man. But like you said, it's Luka Dončić, and it was something that benefits both parties in different ways. And you just go from there. That's really all that is. Vando hit a big three in the first half in that corner, where I said Vando finds a way to make that corner three consistently. He can get even more minutes. Right, he's going to get minutes because of the energy he brings and the defense he plays with and the intensity he plays with and the little things that he does really well. But if it gets to the point where you got to respect him offensively too, and Vando can make that three consistently, because if you notice, like when they was loading up on Luka, they was loading up and they was leaving Vando open a lot of the times, right? When they was loading up on Bron, they was leaving them corners open. And they was trying to make Vando make the shots, and he missed a couple, but he kept at it and he made a couple too. And if he can just consistently do that, man, this team can be scary. This team can be really good and make a lot of noise. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm excited about that, to see what that looks like in real time. If he can continue to prove on that. And I did a funny meme where I'm gonna show y'all that one real quick. Where uh they was man, this is when Dallas was in the first quarter and they in the first half rather, and they just could not buy a basket. And I said, man, Dallas doinking that motherfucker. Like they couldn't buy a basket, man. And I should have stopped talking shit, because as soon as I said that and that second half started, Dallas started hitting every goddamn thing. Every goddamn thing. Like they was just knocking them down left and right. And somebody else said the same thing I said. They said Vando starts hitting that three consistently, it's over for the league. Couldn't agree more. Matthew Peralta, man, he works with Laker Nation. He said, I'm laughing so hard after that Luka pass. And he's talking about the pass where Luka threw that motherfucker behind his head to Austin for the three that Austin made. Was a beautiful pass. And I even went on to say after that, like that pass from Luka to Austin Reeves is like the definition of Showtime Lakers. And you heard people say like why Luka would work in LA is because of the flashiness and the beautiful passing, and the finesse that Luka plays with. And that's a great example of Showtime. All right, box office. Got to put that on TNT. Got like first game he played, they moved that shit to ESPN. Right, like that's box office, man. That's just box office, man. Another tweet that I tweeted from retweeted from Laker Nation, man. We miss you a ton, AD. We do, man. We do, man. And we could have had you with this team. with Luka, which is crazy. I know if that ever happened though, man, it'd be crazy. We'll definitely win a ring. Luka already had a double double just in the first half, with 12, 12, and 7. That's tough. And again, he was struggling and still had a double double in the first half. So he was that triple double was destined. And Lefko said it at halftime. He said that Adam Lefko, man, the TNT announcer, he said that Luka has been relatively patient this first half and still had damn near a triple double. I think he's going to be much more aggressive in the second half, and he was. But again, it was in other ways. It was with his assist. It was with him, getting other people involved. He even played off the ball and was able to rest sometimes, like because they put the ball in Brun's hand, especially in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like in the third quarter, it was kind of lackadaisical and stale, which we're gonna talk about a little bit more. But overall, you know what I'm saying, he controlled the game. That's what Luka did. If I had to put words on it, he controlled the game, and every time Dallas tried to make a run, we made a response. And it wasn't necessarily always Luka at the head of it, but us as a team, for the most part, responded every time that Dallas made a run. And that's what I love about this team is that it felt like at times when Darvingham was there, or even when AD was there, not because of those two necessarily, but it felt like at times we could never get the stop we needed at the right time, or we were going such a long dry run without making a shot, where it was like you dig yourself a deeper and deeper hole. So when it comes to fourth quarter, you got to work so hard to get out of it, right? So even when they tied at 88-88, Clay going crazy, this is the fourth quarter, or even when they was in the third quarter and they was making it a ball game before Dante Exum got hurt or whatever, and they was keeping it close, like I never worried. I never worried because I'm like, we can go bucket for bucket with anybody. And sure enough, that's what we did until we were able to pull away with it later in the fourth quarter behind Brun's heroics. Man, just think about this real quick. This is how you know ain't no defense being played in the league. That Memphis and Phoenix game, they really scored and combined 199 points between the two. No defense and high level offense. That's crazy. Almost 200 points in a regular season game. I said, oh yeah, Max Christie is also really good. He is really fucking good. I mean, I seen people trying to say he the next SGA, and I'm like, relax. You know what I'm saying? Let the man grow first. But like, he is really fucking good. And I think Max Christie might actually have been an even sneakier, valuable deal for the Mavs than people realize, especially if they can continue to develop him, and him under Jason Kidd, he can be developed properly, which I think he will be, because Jason Kidd can coach his ass off, man. Rui with the shooter's touch. I think this was when Rui had that shot kind of bounce in one of his threes. Rui was shooting it really well, and he continued to shoot it really well and having really good games. Big Perk, man, Kendrick Perkins said something really good too. He said that Austin Reeves has really become an elite basketball player under JJ Redick. I couldn't agree more. Like, you already saw peaks of it in recent years. You know what I'm saying? Like who Austin Reeves could be and who he showed signs of being. But I think even this year, in the way that he's being used and the freedom that JJ gives him, the creativity that Austin plays with, the way he uses his body, the patience he plays with. Once he beats you, you're not getting back in front of him. The way he keeps you on his hip, the way he's able to feel and know when to like go finish, and like he just very patient, has a very mature game, and it's like he can play in this league for a long time because he's not super fast, he's not super athletic, he's not putting a lot of wear and tear on his body, he making shots at a high clip. JJ Redick has unlocked him on a different level, and people thought that when Luka came, that was going to change, but I feel like Austin has reinvented himself again, or he is reinventing himself yet again in another way, which is showing just how good he really is, if we really think about it, because that's not an easy thing to do, to kind of adjust on the fly like that in the middle of a season, when you've been playing a certain way for so long. So Austin is damn good, man, and JJ is bringing another level out of him. I couldn't agree more. I said, man, we have so much offensive firepower. Sometimes you forget Bron is even out there. I said that already. Like, LeBron went in for like a layup, I think, in the third or whatever like that. And I'm like, damn, I forgot Bron was out there. Like, we still staying afloat and in the game and staying comfortable, even with him not doing much. And it just shows you that's crazy, because there were times where Bron would have to overexert himself just for us to stay in ball games. And that's not having happened anymore, which is why he looks so fresh and so energetic going into the fourth quarter. If I'm being honest, it's that's the real thing. And so I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited to continue to see what that looks like. A fresh LeBron James going into the fourth quarter of big games. Like, I think we can win a lot of ball games that way. I said Kyrie is so tough. He is. Kyrie's so tough. What did he have tonight? Kyrie had what, 37 or some shit like that. I think he went off. He was busting our ass, man. We couldn't do nothing with him at one point. Kyrie gave us 35. He's 12 for 27 from the three, made all his free throws, 6 for 6, played 40 minutes. So 12 for 27. JJ said, besides Kyrie, we making the team take the shots we want them to take. In 12 for 27 showed you that Kyrie was, for the most part, efficient. What's that, like low 40s maybe? But you made him work for it. Like, he gave you 35, but he worked for the 35. And sometimes he didn't work for it, but we did make him have some tough contests at the rim, which he wasn't able to finish all the time. And I think slowing him down just a little bit at the right times, I'll say. And then making some other dudes non-factors. PJ Washington, 0 points, 0 for 9. Klay Thompson was the next highest scorer with 22 on 8 for 17. He was 5 for 10 from the 3. Max Christie gave you 10 points, 4 for 13, 2 for 4 from the 3. After that, it's 9, 2, 9, 8, right? So, Kyrie had to be aggressive like that and take them tough shots just to keep them in the game. You know what I'm saying? But Kyrie's so tough. So tough. Then that moment when Luka got to the rim and decelerated on the stop. I said that deceleration from Luka is just so tough. And it is, man. Luka is just crazy. It's crazy. So talented, man. Not the most athletic, but he does what he has to do. Then the game flipped. There was this moment in the game where the Mavs started to really make some shots, some tough shots, right? Made it like a 3-point game at one time. We had to call a timeout, and I said, JJ gonna have to come out that matchup zone in. He gonna have to switch it up a little bit because that ain't working. They starting to shoot the lights out that motherfucker. And even though it was the shots we wanted, and I could tell he wasn't tripping for real. Even when they was making the shots, he was like, we want them to shoot them and try to have to make them. And even when they were, again, we were still always in the ball game. It's never like they just took off on us making them. But it was still like, all right, you got to adjust, though. You got to call a timeout and change a few things and adjust a few things, which I feel like he did. And things got better for us. Things got really better for us. I talked about that already, how good Austin is at using his body. Again, there was a point in the game where Austin was our leading scorer. And then Luka was our leading scorer. Then Austin took over and was the leading scorer going into the fourth. And then LeBron just sprinted us home and finished with 27. Right. So that's tough, right? He finished with, let me make sure I'm accurate. Yeah, he finished with 27, 11 for 17, 2 for 4 from the 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. The one he missed was the air ball. Ouch. All right. Anyway. Hey, Najee Marshall was playing some really good defense on Luka at one point, and really had him out of sorts a little bit, like one of them dudes that made Luka's night a little hard. He did. I'll be honest. I tweeted something else where I said, man, Vando running like his feet hurt. I didn't realize he had surgery on both feet, and then I looked at him like he running like his feet hurting right now. Like he run like them bitches burning or something. You know what I'm saying? Like he in pain, ow, every time he run. And so I just found that funny as well. That he was I'm like, he running stiff as hell. And so again, I said the same thing about Vando, about what I talked about earlier with that corner 3. They were giving Vando that corner 3 every single time. They were giving him that the whole time he was in the game, and he got to make that. And he had missed one previously, and he took another one in the late third, early fourth, and made it. And I said, we needed that. We did, because we were really stale scoring wise. It was really stale out there. And I said, Jason Kidd be coaching too, man, because Luka got a triple-double, but Kidd making him work. He loading up on them, constant bodies, forcing others to make plays, and he was forcing people like Vando to make plays. And again, luckily, Vando was able to finally hit it. And then Dallas started hitting everything, and they made it a real game. We got to the point where it was a 1-point game. It got really tight. And I said something. I said, well, this is the first real test game with Luka as a Laker, right? Obviously, we lost those weird games to who was at the Jazz or whatever. I mean, that was a terrible loss or whatever. But it was just one of them weird games like that. We should have won it, but we didn't. Whatever. And I was interested to see how we would react to it with all those closers, with the defense that we play, the way we play. I was interested to see how we were going to close out that game and make it work. And we see how that went. Um, we were able to just stay afloat, stay around, never wavered, took the lead right back from them, and pretty much stayed with it. You know what I'm saying? And then real quick, man, on that whole thing with Dončić Exum, I hope he all right. But even the fact that they had to check that for a hostile act, come on, man. Bron ain't got no reason to be hostile towards nobody, especially Dončić Exum. Right? He lost the ball, accidentally hit him in the face. That's just part of the hoops. And, if you jump up that high, your face right there, it's a possibility you get hit. That's just what it was. It wasn't nothing like that. But I get it. But come on, man, leave that alone. And I feel like sometimes the refs slow down the game with some terrible calls or messed up the game because of not calling things right, with the Luka getting grabbed on the arm, the petty call they was calling on us, like the petty call on Jackson Hayes, talking about a loose ball foul, like just little weird shit like that. In that third quarter, I felt like was slowing up the game, and part of the reason we were playing so slow and so lackadaisical, and we couldn't get a rhythm, and that's kind of why we stalled out in the third, because of not just the refs, but also our play, but the refs weren't helping. If that's what I mean. And man, sure enough, we were struggling super bad. Bron only had those 11 points, 8 shot attempts through the third quarter. He came on alive in the fourth and was balling all out, man. And it was special to see. And I knew it when he came out and hit the tough fadeaway. I was like, yeah, Bron finna take over in the fourth. And sure enough, that's what he did. In that moment where Clay and Bron were kind of like going back and forth, it felt real Cleveland and Golden State. Like, it was very nostalgic. Like, Clay was turning back the clock in this motherfucker. Like, he was hooping, man. He was hooping, man. He was not. We knocked down like 3 or 4 in a row. It was special. It was special. It was very nostalgic. Like, but like, I feel like part of the reason Bron was cooking like that, because like, what was up with that matchup between Powell and Luka? I mean, excuse me, Powell and LeBron, where he had like, I don't know if it was like a switch that kept happening. I couldn't. I was like, I kept missing the beginning of the play, and I should have rewinded and looked at it. But somehow, some way, Norman Powell kept ending up on, not Norman Powell, but what's his name? Dwight Powell, I think his name is, kept ending up on LeBron on the switch, or just, I don't know if he was actually guarding him, and Bron was cooking that shit or getting fouled every time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what was up with that. I don't know if that was intentional with Jason Kidd or what, but that was very weird. But like I said again, it felt very nostalgic watching like Clay and Bron go back and forth, man. It brought back old feels, man, for real. Shannon Sharp, funny man. He a Laker fan through and through, and he said something about Dalton Connect where he said, "Get Dalton out the fucking game. He doesn't know his defensive responsibilities. Back-to-back threes giving up," and that's very true. I mean, you giving up back-to-back threes. I think one of them was to Clay, and the other one was in the corner. He wasn't even he just was kind of like blowing assignments, and he wasn't making shots on the offensive end. Kind of just looked short, and I don't know where his shot and his confidence has gone, but hopefully he can get it back. I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but yeah, Dalton has been struggling. I think he'll be fine overall, but I just think right now he's just having a tough time. And as the game kind of wind down and was going back and forth, we just made big plays that we needed to make. Like, for instance, I know I made another tweet here where I said that Dorian Finney-Smith is so good at those little things, right? When he got that much needed putback, I think that might have been his only bucket for the game type shit. Like, I'm not sure. I think it was, because at one point he was 0 for 5 or something like that. Let me see. Dorian Finney-Smith, yeah, he was 1 for 6, right? So that was his only bucket. And it was a big bucket indeed, a much needed bucket. I think put us up like 6 points or something. And then right after that, no, it put us up 4. Then Rui got the steal. The very next play comes out and dunk that put us up 6. Then the Dallas come right back down to make a layup and cut it right back to 4. So it was that type of game. But then Brian came back with the putback, put us back up 6. And then Brian took us on home. And I realized, man, having 3 essential people that can close the game for you is tough to have. Having Bron, Austin, and Luka, you just feel good. You feel like even in the closest game, even you rather not have it that way, you feel comfortable having those 3 people, if that makes sense. Like, you rather not have to go through all that and stress yourself out as a fan, as a spectator. But like, even if you do, you like, I like our chances, and it's just a matter of making a choice of who's going to close us. And it seems so far that Bron has been the one to close us out um, in these two big games that we've had later on. But the reason I feel like Bron is able to be that closer right now is because you got two other dudes that can carry it away throughout the game and give Bron that proper rest. That's special. That's special. That's special. That's special to have. And last but not least, um, we're getting close to it. I said that JJ just with another elite coaching job. He lived with Dallas taking the shots they took and made life hard for Kyrie, kinda. And I said that we have three closers, and one of them is named LeBron. I think that really sums it up. Made them take the shots they wanted to take. Made Kyrie's life somewhat hard, kinda, and we were able to capitalize on the misses and do what we needed to do. And I think the perfect way to end it right here is what Big Perk said. He said, "Yep, LeBron and Luka can, and it will work." And I think that says it all. I think that says it all, and sums it up in the best way. Like they can work, and more in particular, I think that Austin can work with this matchup. I think Rui is working. I just think the team is gelling. You know what I'm saying? And it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better over time, and I just feel good against anybody, even the Bostons of the world. It's not, of course, it's not gonna be easy. I'm not gonna say we can just go beat them with ease, but I will say that I feel good about it. And you give us a big, I feel real good about it. And I don't even say we need necessarily just a big like that because Boston plays a lot of small ball as well, so-called small ball, right, where they go wing heavy. I feel good about it. I feel pretty good about it. And I just think that's the perfect way to end the show today, man. Is just to say that Luka didn't have to do too much, and still had a great game, and it was an off game. Austin had a great game in his role. I mean, LeBron took us home, and JJ coached his ass off once again, and lived with some of those dudes shooting the shots that they took, and we were able to capitalize on their misses and get out and run. And we closed the game by doing the little things at a high level. The putbacks, the defensive stops, the tough finishes and misses at the rim on Kyrie. We did those little things, closing out hard to Clay and not letting him make another three towards the end. Like we just did those things at a high level, and it paid off for us, man. And the Lakers are damn good. We got a tough schedule coming up, but I think we're gonna be just fine. And so until the next video, man, I love y'all so much. I'm gonna leave it right here, and I'll see y'all later. All right, appreciate y'all coming to the Skybox, baby. Let's go.